we have to figure out a way to remain relevant in this age. It's streaming in from everywhere. In fact, I'm getting a signal now through well, one of my fillings. I mean, it's everywhere. So what do we do? Between our April pledge drive and our November pledge drive, we aired 175 live broadcasts from this room, from around Chicago, around the United States, and around the world. And they were broadcasts that, for the most part, you couldn't get anywhere else. You couldn't get it on Pandora. You couldn't get it anywhere. So we've got to remain unique by doing that kind of thing. Also, with our new program director, Peter Vandergraaf, who wished he could be here tonight, but he's busy with some rehearsals. You all know Peter, or know about him. He's been our program director for just really a couple of weeks, maybe a month. And he and I believe that we have to not only have live programs of all kinds, we have to take the CD programming that we do and make it a little bit more interesting. So we're developing thematic programming, so you're going to be hearing a lot of that. We're also interacting with our listeners in a brand new way. In fact, just in the last couple of weeks, we started asking these questions of the week. We asked a question the other day of just to recommend an interesting book about classical music. Got a flood. We asked people, if you were going to write a letter to a composer, what would you say? We had 86 responses to that just on Facebook. Or this week we asked about love. Has music played a role in any kind of love affair? Tremendous responses. So that's a way of interacting with listeners. And again, you can't interact with Pandora too well. So we're trying to do that. Now, this is an exciting night for us because it's the debut night of a brand new program. And this is what we kind of live for, to create new things. 10 years ago, we created Exploring Music, and that's done pretty well. That's heard now by 400,000 people around the country. We introduced Introductions, our Saturday morning program for young, gifted performers 5 years ago. That hasn't done badly. We introduced a new program called Fiesta with Elbio Barilari just about 2 years ago. And we got so much buzz on that locally, we said, gee, we should try to, maybe other stations would be interested. We introduced it in April around the United States. It took off like a shot. It was, it's now heard by 60 stations, which is remarkable. And then we have a new program on Saturday at 5 called Relevant Tones, which was brought to us by Seth, who is sitting right, where's Seth? He was just here. He missed his cue. Seth boasted a program called Relevant Tones, which is about new music. So we've had pretty good luck with some new shows, and that show will do just as well. Seth, where'd you go? I was just speaking to him a minute ago. So tonight is a new program, and it debuts at 10 o'clock called Cedille Chicago Presents. And again, it makes WFMT unique because Cedille is a unique label, as I think everybody knows. It presents music about Chicago, musicians and music, so that's unique. Now, people all around the world hear Cedille records broadcast on radio stations, including this one, but no station has a program which is hosted by the founder and the producer, Jim Ginsberg. So we're going to get Jim's kind of unique perspective, obviously unique, because he sits in that control room a lot of the time, producing many of the records that are performed in this room. So it's a unique show, it's different. You can't get it on any of the other digital platforms that I mentioned. It's unique to WFMT, and we're very proud of it. Now, when I brought the idea to Peter Vandergraaf, he jumped for the reasons I've just said. It's a unique program. You won't be able to get it anywhere else. It's about Chicago because that's what Cedille is dedicated to. And Peter doesn't jump at everything, I can tell you that. I've been working with Peter now for the past couple of months, and he's very discriminating. So I was happy that he jumped at this. Now, we are not going to play for you the whole 1 hour program tonight. That's on at 10. You'll be home in time for that. But the producer is Matt DeStefano. Don't tell me Matt ran out on me. Matt, are you here? Oh, there he is. Okay. Matt is one of our most gifted producers. Produced a lot of shows for us, and he's the producer of this program. Works with Jim every week and Peter Vandergraaf, and he's produced for this night right now a little 5-minute collage of the program. So I wanted you to hear a little bit of it. We also have out on the table there the complete program, tonight's program, so you can listen to it in your car on the way home or whenever you want, but that's out there on the table. Matt, I just thought you would talk just a bit about how you put together this little 5-minute show. How do you encapsulate an hour show in 5 minutes?
Carefully. What you'll hear, I'll come to the front,
yep.
Maybe you can turn around. How about that? Hi. Thank you all for coming out, and I'm excited to work with you, Jim. This is an exciting project for me, and it's nice to see that there's people following it already before it's even aired, so that's really great. We should do that with some other shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good. So what you do, here's what you'll hear. You'll hear the introduction of the show, pretty much as is, and then you'll hear all the different breaks that Jim does. Jim plays a piece of music, and he talks, and he back announces it, and he front announces the next piece of music, and we play the next piece of music. So I've taken parts of Jim's talking, and I've made them short, very short, and I've taken the music, and I've made it very short, and this is actually, I think, exactly 1/10 of the length of the entire show. So I'll go into that booth.
What's it like to work with Ginsberg? Is he difficult? Does he learn?
It took me about 2 hours to prepare my smile for Jim's great, very easy to work with, very flexible, and I'm just glad that you're doing a show now. It's really great. It's got to be a big day for you. Yeah. So congratulations to you. Yeah. We're gonna go hit play.
All right. I'll let you know how the volume is.
Please do. This might be very loud or very soft.
What he's done, it's a very produces a very technical term. It's called a telescoped version of the show, and he's going to press the button. We'll see. Tell me if it's too loud. Ought to be all right. Roll it.
Good evening. Welcome to Cedille Chicago Presents. I'm Jim Ginsberg, founder and president of Cedille Records. Cedille, spelled Cedille, is the only independent classical label in Chicago. We are nonprofit, and our mission is to record and promote the finest classical musicians in and from Chicago and share their artistry with the world. On this inaugural show, we'll travel all the way back to the label's beginning in 1989. Starting with a selection from the very first Cedille recording, Dmitri Poperno plays Russian piano music. Next up is pianist and composer Easley Blackwood. I came into Blackwood's office one day 23 years ago. He sat down at the piano and began playing this absolutely wild music by the Italian modernist Alfredo Casella. It turned out to be Casella's 1916 Piano Sonatina, Opus 28. For some recordings, we have to travel further afield. That was the case with the solo organ recordings by David Schrader, the most prolific recording artist for Cedille. For David's first 2 organ recordings, both featuring music by J.S. Bach, we went to where the organ was, in this case, Wausau, Wisconsin. It wasn't long before artists who I did not know previously began to let the label know of their interest in being recorded. The first of these was pianist Ramon Salvatore. Another artist that approached me in the early years of the Cedille label was the duo piano team of Georgia and Louise Mangos. They'd unearthed Franz Liszt's own two-piano versions of his popular symphonic poems. Over the course of 3 separate discs, issued over 4 years, Cedille Records released their world premiere recordings of all 12 symphonic poems that Liszt transcribed for 2 pianos. We now jump from the label's early years to the present. Pianist Ursula Oppens was based at Northwestern University for 20 years. Oppens is also the preeminent interpreter of contemporary American piano music, including an especially close association with Elliott Carter. Today's show focuses on the great solo keyboard performers we've recorded over the years. We end with a disc released this past fall by pianist Jorge Federico Osorio of Highland Park. The Los Angeles Times has called Osorio one of the more elegant and accomplished pianists on the planet, and elegant really is the word that best captures Osorio's art. This has been Cedille Chicago Presents, a program devoted to performances by Chicago musicians recorded on Chicago's nonprofit classical label, Cedille. To learn more about our mission, our artists, and our recordings, please visit our website, cedillerecords.org. That's CEDILLE records.org. Next week's show will focus on 2 very special violinists, Rachel Barden-Pine and Jennifer Coe. Our producer is Matt DeStefano. I'm Jim Ginsberg, founder and president of Cedille Records. Thank you for listening.